the young Australian leg spinning genius Shane Warne. India's batsmen are used to leg spin, and if they can safely negotiate Warne's 10 overs, then I believe this could be India's day. What a prospect it all is, therefore, and I, for one, can hardly wait for it to start. Now, without further ado, let's go straight out to the middle and see what Glenn Turner has to say about the pitch.
Thank you, Henry. Actually, my fingers are twitching this morning because Shane Warne's going to be playing today. And you know, I used to bowl a few leg breaks as a kid, and I bowled quite often, mainly because I was captain. But Shane Warne has got the ball mostly to skid on the wicket, and he's done the damage with the flipper rather than the leg spinner from turning from leg to off. But the reason for that is that this pitch so far has had quite a sheen on it, and therefore the ball skidded through. As the tournament goes on, it's meant to rough up a little bit and grip more and take turn. But I don't expect that to happen today too much, and therefore it's going to be a batting paradise again, and even you, Henry, I think could score runs out here.
Glenn Turner on the ball as usual, and now it's the toss. Let's go straight back to Simon Reed and the two captains.
Hi. You decided to bat?
Yeah, we've tried bowling both other times, and so we've had enough of that. We'll try batting first this time.
Any idea what sort of target you're looking for?
Oh, well, I think looking at the other games, anything over about 230, 240 will be something they can get. I'd like to get 250, but you know, I'll see how it goes. You know, it's depends on how the wicket plays.
Tim May's still out with his thumb.
Tim May's still out. The thumb's still a bit sore. He can bowl all right with it, but might impair his fielding, so we've left him out. And Michael Slater's the 12th man.
Okay, Azza. So you're going to have to chase. Is that a problem for you?
Yeah, we really wanted to chase today as well, because we've not done very well batting first. I mean, both the games that you see, but I think it's a good opportunity for us to really chase and try and restrict them as quickly as possible in the inning. But I think we'll definitely try and chase in a better way.
Any changes to the team?
We're playing Venkatesh Prasad in place of Inder Singh. That's all about.
No extra spinner?
No extra spinner. Right.
Okay. Have a good game.
Thank you.
So Australia leave out Tim May, who has a cracked thumb. Michael Slater replaced by Mark Waugh. David Boone will open the innings with Mark Taylor. India make one change. Bhupinder Singh goes out. In comes Venkat Prasad. No place for the left-arm spinner, Raju. Let's go down to the boundary now, where Henry has Sunil with him.
Thank you, Simon. Well, today I have with me the Indian temporary acting manager, Sunil Gavaskar. Now, Sunny, I want no bias in your comments today, please. This is a very exciting semi-final. What are your views?
Yes, it is an exciting semi-final, and obviously the side that plays good cricket, good common sense cricket, as I've been saying, is going to come out on top. So I'm hoping at the end of the day that it is the Indian team.
And you're confident that the Indian team really can pick themselves up after that rather heavy defeat by Pakistan?
Yes, I think the nature of one-day cricket is such that you know, you forget one match and you go on to the next match without really worrying too much about the previous game. I think that's what's happening with the Indian team. The 2 days that I've spent with them, they are very confident.
Well, I won't ask Sunny which side he thinks is going to win. The action is about to start, so let's go upstairs and join Iftikhar Ahmed and Glenn Turner.
Thank you, Henry, and good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are in the world and watching. The first semi-final about to get underway, and we expect another thriller today. Taylor, the batsman, and the first runs off the very first ball, it's going to be 4 runs.
Leg buys, just bowling a little bit close in on the leg side, flicking the pad and going fine enough to go for 4. We also welcome all those viewers throughout the Star region.
And a test record. They'll take an easy single. Kumble, the fielder, going across from mid-on. That's a wonderful mask, isn't it? Very exotic. David Boone. Fields of his own bowling, 15 for no wicket in this first semi-final in front of much bigger crowd as compared to yesterday. Taylor facing.
Marginal call there, I would have thought. There was no call at all, but the judgment from umpire Kanji, maybe when it went past.
He had a fair bit of work to do with the third umpire yesterday. Of the wicket.
Taylor gets too far across here, but let's see, the ball pitches outside leg stump. It does. May have hit off stump a little far across, and those behind the wicket were quite enthusiastic, and Prasad was rather late with his shout. He tended to be going up in support.
Must give Prasad some confidence, that delivery. That's very wide. Taylor flashes, misses, and that's a wide. Call a little late, but that's one more to him. One more to Australia.
Well, it drew the shot, and there was some sound there. He must have just...
And that ball is played past the square leg umpire. Jadeja after it. And they'll take two. Are they coming back for the third? Taylor will have to hurry, and he's home.
He wouldn't have been home if it had been a throw that was spot on. If that had hit or even been over the top of the stumps, I think he would have been short. So we'll watch Taylor coming back for the second. Jadeja, the fielder. And look, if that had been right on target, it would have been very close indeed.
So it's 19. That's a fine delivery. Beats the bat. And that ball hurried off the wicket as well. Moved away from him.
Yes, look at the movement here. Pitching leg. Ooh, too good for most people, that one. And we see Taylor pushing down the original line, being squared round. And in the end, I don't think he got too...
Another fine delivery. Movement there, away from the bat, and Taylor beaten.
The thing is, he's got the batsman defending as well. And that's, yes, quite considerable.
Consecutively in this over. Oh, once again beaten. 19 for no wicket. This the fifth over.
Well, this puts a lie to the fact that you only need to make one mistake as a batsman to get out. Look how he's squaring around there, Taylor, but he's anticipating the ball being...
So a slip and a gully. Catching positions. Second one on the off. And again he moves across it. And again a shout, but it was too high. And at the end of the over, 22 for no wicket off 6. And that's it. Surely he got a nick on that. Not given. Oh, and Srinath gives him a piece of his mind. I must say, Asif, I thought there was a nick there.
Well, we'll have to see the replay because the reaction of the wicketkeeper and the bowler, the moment Boone is beaten there, Srinath was not even bothering to turn back and see the umpire's verdict. He was convinced to make sure that they don't lose wickets and just see these new ball bowlers off and then try and launch the attack towards the end of the innings.
That's gone through. And a better shot from Taylor. A bit more width there to work with.
It's first time Srinath really giving that width to the batsman. Shot delivery, enough width for him to not only hit it hard enough, but also to place the ball in the vacant region. Nicely placed shot. Intentionally played over the close-in fielders.
That's not the way they've got them. concentration there, looked to work him away. It looked pretty straight. It certainly ended up straight, and he's gone.
Yes, I think
that's the stump that's got knocked out.
Yes, there it is. A good line, good length delivery. Taylor playing all around, and that's the...
Very lucky to have Sunil at hand to help them out, and there seems to be a bowling change.
And it's a pretty good one for a wrist spinner. 6 for 12 is best in the Hero Cup. That was the Hero Cup final against the West Indies at Eden Park. Eden Gardens. Sorry, Eden Park is Auckland, isn't it?
That's
in
right.
Eden Gardens in '93. That was in November.
Well, it's
Kumble to Boone. He gave that a bit more air than he often does. But again, Boone not really timing it. But that certainly was a leg break. But of course, with a pull. We'll have a chance later playing it so people know exactly what this dreaded flipper is. But that was extremely well played there by Waugh. It was short, and he went back, opened the face, and ran that beautifully, just wide of slip for 4. That was a lovely stroke. Good improvisation.
he had enough time to play.
Here's Chauhan now to Boone. And that's well fielded there by Azharuddin.
Jadeja.
Oh, it's Jadeja, so it is. Thank you, I think. Azharuddin, in fact, is at backward square leg. Oh, that's a superb stroke by David Boone. Using his feet, making a bit of room for himself, and hitting that right into the middle of the gap between extra cover and mid-off. The best stroke of the day so far.
As you can see there, it was well flighted, and he gave himself room and played a beautiful extra cover drive.
Looking down towards the members' stadium. It's a fine structure here in Sharjah. Jadeja, there he is. Boone standing with his bat behind his back toe. And that's 4 more. That again was a good shot. Boone played the stroke on line. It pitched about, what, middle and leg, hitting through the ball. So the second boundary of the over, and these two are batting very well indeed against these two spinners.
They are playing very well, Henry. At the same time, one has to see that it's not at 15 overs. And as
really nice to have Venkat with us, and I'm sure all of you will be interested with his comments through these finals. And after this first ball, we shall make way for Iftikhar Ahmed, who's wearing a very smart shirt today. All sorts of colours it is.
And the run rate Australians, and to some extent they've got out of jail in those first 15. India dominating but not doing enough damage.
And he cuts and misses. And a shout of anguish. Let's watch it again. The ball turning and Boone missing. Just the scream of anguish from both the keeper and the bowler. That was missing the leg stump.
But that's one of Kumble's real weapons. He bowls it just so much more quickly. Real pace there, and see it skidding on. Could easily have gone off the pad onto the stumps, a little high too, but running down leg side.
So real battle of wits going on here. 53 for 1. Came down the wicket, And Boone is gone. Australia have lost their second wicket and India in control.
Great bowling. He sees him coming down the wicket. Look at this. He charges. It's a much quicker one. He tries to cut it. And 2 pins out of the 3 go over. Delight for India. Boone gone for Australia. Important breakthrough for the Indians. And
So Taylor bowled Srinath 11, Boone bowled Kumble 21, Waugh not out 14.
not unanimously so, but we are seeing here a change in attitude from India, at least in the field. If they're able to follow this through for the rest of the overs and then come out with the bat with the same determination, it could be a different looking Indian proposition for their opposition.
Bowling change, Tendulkar coming on to bowl from the football ground end. Replaces Chauhan. And a very useful bowler, but what a marvellous batsman. First ball, he tries to cut, misses. So, away. Another single. 60 for 2.
Australians will be able to collect.
And they go through for one more. So 3 runs in 3 deliveries. 61 for 2. India should not.
And just 4 inside the circle. There's a long off and a long on. Cover, there's a man up inside the circle at fine leg. That's the only compromise he's had to make.
Outside edge as it goes down to deep cover, and that could be a run out, and he's gone. Mark Waugh is run out, and it's 62 for 3.
Well, one would anticipate.
India certainly back into the game.
Morning. Bevan on strike. Tendulkar the bowler. Some more action there. Top edge. Tendulkar gives him an old-fashioned look, but it's 4 more.
Yes, you can't afford to do that. I mean, looks are not good enough. You have to bowl well. That was wide-ish outside the off stump, and with no slips, Hayden, as we have seen, a very good striker of the ball.
Single for Waugh.
They can't have a slog because they have the batting. India have to really put pressure on them now that they have got themselves in such a good position.
Chauhan, as he's proved throughout, difficult to get away. And they've got him surely. Well, they fancy it. Definitely heard something. And Mongia throws the ball down. I must say, I did think I heard a nick. Let's have a listen to it.
Well, certainly there's a sound there. I'm sure we'll hear it again. There it is, and certainly from here, with the reaction of the wicketkeeper and that sound over there, it definitely looks as though Steve Waugh did have a top edge to it.
And Mongia.
Yes, Waugh is the man, or something, because these are the 2 batsmen, and especially Steve Waugh is the main one. You know?
Yes, Kumble has bowled 4 of his overs so far.
So I think Tendulkar will be better served if he comes on and bowls later on, maybe. But at this time, the Indians should be really looking to make a breakthrough rather than allow things to go as they are.
One more to Waugh. He moves on to 17.
Foundation again. Lots of happy spectators. And let's have a look now at the prize money, the Pepsi. easy single for Bevan. Prasad, the new fast bowler. The field qualifying match is $500, semi-final $750, and the final $1,500. And the Citibank man of the series, $3,000. 3,000 of the best. It's almost an over the tournament, $2,000, and the Shell Best Bowling Performance, $2,000. Long live our glorious sponsors. And that's a fine stroke, that's 4 runs. Well, that's Steve Waugh at his best. We saw Boone play a shot like that earlier in the day when Chauhan was bowling from the other end.
So that was a classic extra cover drive.
Goodness, I don't know. I think Simon Reed's the chap that really should be for. I think it would become him. And that is the wicket India were looking for. Bevan playing Kumble off his legs and a gentle catch there to square leg. And so that is a very important breakthrough for the Indians.
There you see Henry, it was well tossed up. And Bevan there, instead of flicking it, he just lobbed it into
Dump behind the stumps.
Give the ball to the spinners and finish their quota of overs.
Srinath's bowling. Lucky early on. Did really well right the way through. The wicket of Taylor eventually. And he's got him.
And that is the wicket India really wanted, and Srinath has done it. And Steve Waugh, as we'll see here, trying to play that ball. It was an intentional stroke, but I think
3-1-5.
As the Indians aboard. Oh, that's another fine stroke. This time it was a long hop outside the off stump. It's 4 more. 2 splendid blows by Hayden. And aren't Australia fortunate to have a stronger batsman as this coming in at number 6?
Oh, I believe Henry has had a tremendous record in Sheffield.
There's Prasad again to Hayden. Well, that often happens when you hit. Love, don't they, being seen on television? It never ceases to amaze me. Hello, Mum. Anyone would think it was a Mexican wave, especially for the cameras. Well, that's a slower one that he was aiming there to deep mid-wicket. He got it off a thinnish edge through about second slip for 4. Well, that's the luck of the draw, isn't it? 3 4s in the over. 2 good ones. Wrong, and if he does that and learns from the experience, well, it's very worthwhile that he should be here. Bishan Bedi in the pink shirt. I think it's fair to say there's rather more of Bishan than there used to be. His shadow stretches further. Always cheerful. Srinath now. There to Langer, and that one was a confident LBW appeal. And in fact, the reason it was given not out was because the batsman hit the ball. Inside edge onto the pad.
Overs, and the last 10 crucial overs, they have to really concentrate.
Srinath to Langer. It's a good shot, it's gone for 4. He had very little room to play that stroke. It was a sort of short-armed hook. He hit it awfully well. Well, Azharuddin, who must have been pleased at the way his seam bowlers, very much the linchpin, if you like it, of Pakistan's semi-final tomorrow against New Zealand, who beat Sri Lanka in that marvellous finish last night. Anil Kumble has come back. Venkat Prasad's last over was very expectant. It's 184 for 5. Kumble to Hayden. Hayden running the first as fast as he can to see if he can... Well, that was rather a strange sweep there by Langer, but he got away with it, just chipping it over the head of backward square leg. Full marks to Australia for keeping the score. Big appeal for LBW, down, I think, missing leg stump. And Langer really swept so furiously then. Just watch this, it's almost as though he was swatting a fly. I don't see how the umpire could have given that out.
He was far down the wicket and missed the stumps anyway.
Apart from that, everything else was all right. Bum ball, spectator catch into the ground. You enjoy umpiring, obviously. Well, that's a long hop, and that has got exactly what it deserves. Oh dear, the Indian bowlers are rather panicking under pressure in these closing stages. The Australians have been presented with too many free runs. It's the end of the over. The score now 193 for 5. The back, then Turner next to him. Now in the box next door to us as we commentate. 50, of course, enormous business tycoon, charge of singers, lives in Hong Kong. Simon Reed behind him, he's the brother of Oliver Reed, the film star. Who's come back now at the far end, replacing Srinath, and I think that may be quite a shrewd move back from another end to try and create slightly different conditions for him.
Quite right, and I think it's a very shrewd move from Azharuddin, and I do hope that Venkatesh Prasad will be able to contain these Aussies who seem to be on the rampage.
It's a good shot by Langer. What a good little player he looks, and they're coming back for the second. Hayden making use of his long strides, really stretching out for that second run. Splendid cricket again by the Australians. You've got to hand it to them.
Well, this particular partnership is really taking proportions, and they should be thinking of how to stop the runs flowing and also get the wicket.
Prasad again from the football stadium end. I think that'll be a leg by.
It is exactly what Venkatesh Prasad is doing. He's got to relax and he's got to try and think what exactly he's doing and put the ball and give no width to the batsman.
It's in the air, but Hayden has found the gap, and that's 4 runs. That was a lovely whipped shot off his legs. He knew exactly where mid-wicket was fielding. He hit it square of mid-wicket for 4, and that's brought up for 200.
That was a magnificent
Asleep. Maybe she's not. That may be a bit unfair. Anyway, she's... Oh, lovely. Anyway, a chance now to hand over a change in the box to Glenn Turner. Watch the first ball. Some exciting blow. It was over the top, but bounced in front of the fielder out there at deep cover.
And the width was there to play the shot. And India just letting it slip here.
And that's a tremendous hit, 6. 211, and the Australians now putting the pressure on and really consolidating here. The game swinging towards them.
Well, this is not such a bad ball, actually. That's just a very useful connection there from Langer. He's whacked it over deep square. The Indians, particularly the seamers, tended to drag it down too short in their second spell and were punished as a consequence. And now the game very, very alive. Australia making excellent progress.
Another single. Dade.
212.
The Australians are getting a good total. As long as the Indians reply well, it could be very close.
Wide of Milan. 213 for 5, and the runs coming comfortably 4 to that. Up to almost 5, 4.9. That's another big hit, and it's up in the air and could be a 6, is it? We'll have to wait for the signal from the fielder. It's a 6. And Kumble being taken to task here. Just look at that hit.
Well, he's hit the length rather than the line. And Lang is showing here that he's got the ability, a good eye. The ball wasn't all that loose. And once again, he's been prepared to tackle his bowlers and say, hey, I want you to bowl this particular field, or what field do you want to bowl to, Langer?
Into the block hole and played to mid-wicket. Just the single. It's almost yacht him there.
And it swung. This is the curious, but quite a lot of swing there from Tendulkar.
Langer facing. And they go through the one. There's run out. Brilliant bit of fielding and thinking by Tendulkar. And the 6th wicket is down, and this must be a big relief for India and Azhar.
What a waste for Australia, but some sensational fielding here. He has to turn around, change direction, and umpire Lamston didn't even call for the 3rd umpire. Not needed, and so Langer goes for a great knock for him. 36 from 24 balls, and 2-2-2 for 6 now, Australia. Various stages feel that they've had a tremendous mauling by their opposition, and yet they still come through and manage to be less mauled than their leg by to the Australians.
I think India should try and keep Australia under the psychological mark of 250. Still 5 overs left. Down the wicket comes Hayden. He cracks it through the covers. The cover fielder there can't cut it off, and he's gone back for his 2nd. Comes down the wicket, it's up in the air. There's a fielder getting under it, and he's out caught. Jadeja, the fielder, 2-2-7 for 7. And Hayden, the man that India wanted, is out caught, and the crowd in ecstasy, and back comes Hayden.
The Australians have to watch it a little here. They've lost 2 in a row, both batsmen who were in. Hayden trying to hit it onside, ends up spooning it up, going down to long off. And the man in your picture there, Jadeja, taking a comfortable catch in the end. And look, we're trying to hit it onside there, Hayden, and spooning it up. Jadeja just coming in to shot there and taking the catch comfortably. And so Australia...
Right. That's right. It turned out to be the right move, and he's been able to do his bit. He has kept the batsman quiet, and that's brilliant run out of his, and that has changed the complexion of the game to a certain extent, because at a particular stage I thought that Australia would be scoring somewhere near 260, 270, and he has been able to cut down the run rate.
It's still a prodigious score. Looks like 250 at least. Run rate now moving up. Oof. Well, he was lucky that Tendulkar didn't gather quickly there, because he could have been run out at either end.
Well, yes, there was a chance. It's unlucky that he couldn't...
Well, just 4 of the 2 overs before this over. But he was getting taken apart at the end of his first spell. Gone through, only a couple. Jahan, the fielder.
Well, Tendulkar in his second spell has definitely done his bit. make use of it.
The rush here, that's a direct hit, and there's going to be a replay. Looks very close, he's out. Jadeja it was, and a clean hit, and Warne has to go. Here it is again. Some excellent fielding all the way through from India. And another example, Jadeja strikes again.
Well, it was a direct hit.
And there, 240 for 8. So the last over. Away from a single, gets Rifle on strike. He undid England on a couple of occasions as well.
I'm sure he did in the last tour. Yeah, we had a very useful partnership.
It's going to move back quickly. Not that time. No replay needed. It was very close though. Looking back on it, might have been a call for television replay, but he was in.
No, he was in all right.
Bit of width to work with, but he doesn't take advantage. So really it means that Tendulkar it is. And he's made such an important contribution late on here. Didn't bowl too well early on. Rifle flips it away, but Tendulkar watches it closely.
Made no mistake. What a tremendous cricketer he is. A good competitor.
So 243 for 9. Taylor the first to go. Then Boone and Mark Waugh digging in, but in the end, wickets beginning to go. Steve Waugh going on to make 53. Everybody getting in and then getting out lower down. Bevan, Hayden, just when he looked to launch, and Justin Langer coming in with a brisk 36 that changed things around. And then Srinath and Tendulkar with his run out and his fielding changed things at the end. And the bowling, well, 3 wickets for Srinath and 3 for Kumble, who went for 50, but Tendulkar coming back well with his last 3 overs. Have a look at the wickets to fall. The first was Mark Taylor, who lived precariously and went to Srinath for 11. It was 29 for 1. Next to go was Boone. And Kumble bowling to him. A rather indifferent shot from Boone. He goes for 21. At that stage it was 53 for 2. Mark Waugh's next. And the two brothers here, Mark and Steve, getting caught. And in the end, Mark caught in no man's land, sent back. And the run out from Kumble. Tendulkar doing the business at the bowler's end. Mark Waugh going for 16. It was 62 for 3. Here's the end of Bevan, just not able to turn that round well. Jadeja gets the catch
here. And if we look at this down the line, look how he tries to hit the ball round there. He doesn't play a leg glance in the normal fashion by letting the ball come on, rolling his wrists over it and being content just to use it with the orthodox shot, Tendulkar.
He's got him away. It's running down to the square leg fence, but it'll be cut off just inside by Rifle. There comes the return, and it's to Tendulkar, who's off the mark, and it's 7 for no wicket.
Well, there should have been a long 3 here,
And both players guilty of ambling through, and the assumption was, I think, Tendulkar thought it was going to go for 4, so he just ambled through, and they were not able to take a third when it was very much on.
McGrath is going to bowl to Tendulkar. It's a good delivery, forcing a defensive shot out of Tendulkar.
Yes, one tends to anticipate that it takes a good delivery for him to defend, and McGrath too. Look, 3.7. See, those are the important figures for me. How many runs per over?
Down to the third man for 4. He tried to pull it through mid-wicket, got the edge, and it's gone for 4.
Well, that's an interesting shot. That's an absolute miscue. Could have gone anywhere. Tendulkar has tackled the shot over square leg that we've seen him play so effectively, but McGrath just getting the added bounce with his height, and he's no slouch either. A bit of pace there, and Tendulkar fortunate there that it fell safely. Could have gone straight up in the air for the keeper. Some things to go your way. It's an entitlement.
Short, and he's out, caught magnificently by Taylor. Oh, what a spectacular catch. Magnificent reflexes, and India have lost Tendulkar.
Tendulkar attempting the same shot, not getting a top edge this time, but not controlling the shot either, and he smashed that to short mid-wicket. And we know how good the skipper Taylor is in there, and that's a big blow for India to lose.
That's through the covers, a fine stroke. Could be 4, and yes, it is 4. 18 for 1. The crowd on their feet.
McGrath over-tossing, paying the penalty. And Jadeja
nicely placed. Just a single down the one. There's the great young man. Interesting to see when they put him on. Do you think it'll be first change or maybe later on in the innings?
I'll be surprised if he comes one change. I think Captain Mark Taylor will try and keep him as sort of, it'll delay his arrival on the bowling crease as long as possible, because everybody expecting him to come on to bowl, so are the Indian batsmen. I will be surprised if he comes on to bowl at one change.
Yes, the danger is, I suppose, that if they do handle Warne well, that if he does come on early and go off early, the confidence is very high.
That's right. I think that's one of the things which Mark Taylor must be aware of, because he knows that the players from the subcontinent play against the spin very well. And if, in particularly, if the Indians are going to sort of not lose wickets and just go and play normal cricket, then to bring Warne a bit late, I think that will not serve Australia's cause.
Very hot out there today, probably the hottest it's been throughout the tournament. There's a bit of breeze. It's easier, I think, this afternoon than it was this morning.
Yes, and I think the heat is going to be more once the game really gets into swing, and if the Indians start getting closer to the target, and that's when I think the heat will be really on.
Gone through, and it's 4.
That was beautifully timed. Nicely played off the hips, rifle there, which is slightly short, and Jadeja timing it beautifully, missing the outstretched hand of the diving fielder. Good stroke by Jadeja.
Open it was, but not even close.
Brilliant fielding. What a magnificent performance that was. Certainly saved 4 runs. Jadeja giving it the full treatment.
It's like Bevan flat out. Hayden, I think. In fact, it's Mark Waugh.
Certainly saved 4 runs.
It's right to his left, too. That's still goes way back past. Picked the gap beautifully. And he's in sparkling form. End of the over, 31 for 1.
Yes, amendments were made this time by Jadeja, managing to pierce the inside circle, placing Tendulkar and really paying the penalty, because that's what was happening. And here with Tendulkar gone, maybe Jadeja and Sidhu will try and build an innings with 1s and 2s and an occasional 4, and that is crucial from Indians' point of view.
Interesting to see him pouring the sweat away from his helmet. For the Indians, it's hot here. Here's Steve Waugh then, taking over at the pavilion end.
I think it's a good ploy from Mark Taylor, because he knows that on this wicket, maybe the bowling likes of Steve Waugh has already got 152 wickets in a very good economy rate.
Yes.
That he's trying and get the overs in quickly.
Yes. These days he's slightly more than a 5th bowler, isn't he, Steve Waugh, but a lot of the time he has been a fill-in bowler. And what other countries would love their 5th bowler to go for 4.4?
Oh yes, that's absolutely right. And I think with already 1 wicket down, Mark Taylor must be thinking that if he can get in Steve Waugh's few overs before the 15 overs restriction is removed.
It's kicked a little low, very well watched.
It's very well played indeed, because if he watched the ball till the end, because that ball kept really low.
For Shane Warne, and it's 4 more for Jadeja.
Well, he's getting all the support from the crowd and encouragement here. Steve Waugh, yes, drifting a little bit onto the legs, and Jadeja, instead of playing it wide and square.
That one was in the air, clearly off the edge of the bat, and Langer put it down. It wasn't easy, he had a long way to go, but that was a clear chance.
Well, yes, it was a clear chance, and he did get to it. First, he was going the wrong way. And, well, Langer is just top-gap wicket away.
That comparison, I didn't have time to give it to you when it was on the screen, after 13 overs. And that's a fine stroke again by Jadeja. Timed it so well, it's jolly nearly going to go for 4. Chase for McGrath, he manages. Great. Well, just a photographer who has perhaps not been used to covering games of cricket.
Absolutely right.
The star at last. Jadeja's batting well. That was another superb example of the timing. It was on his pads and he stroked it for 4.
Well, yes, as you see there, Henry, Waugh very rarely strays down the leg side, and he strayed down the leg side, and Jadeja was even and ball.
They're having a pretty good view. And he's going to face the bowling, and what a marvellous innings it's been. He's played his shots on both sides of the wicket, most of them in front, so it's been a fine innings. He's timed the ball sweetly, picked the gaps well, and after the departure of Tendulkar, he's taken over the principal responsibility of keeping the score moving. third man, and he's on 49. 73 for 1.
The Indians have made a good enough start where if they just play urgently and keep it ticking over and manage round 4s and over, that would do. But neither one of these two want to hand it over to somebody else. They're the incumbents at the wicket. See, they want 5.24 runs required. That's not too bad. They sneak along at 4s for a while. They'll probably get up to about 6, 6.5, and that's easily manageable in the last 10 or 15.
That'll be just a single. Shane Warne returning from the deep. 74 for 1, Jadeja on 49, and in anticipation, the applause for him, and he certainly deserves this 50 should he get it. It's really been a very good knock from him. He's kept the scoreboard moving, and just watch those who support him. They're on their feet already. Deafening roar, and they've gone through for 1, and that's his 50. A superb innings, and he deserves all the applause that he's getting. 75 for 1.
Now what he has to say to himself is, that's the beginning. Now I'll move through to 100, and then I'll win the game for India.
Down to third man, and one more. 77 for 1.
And Jadeja's wagon wheel, just to see where he scored his runs. And there we go, right-hander. So down the left-hand side of your screen is the offside shots behind point 8, 13 through the cover region, and 4 straightes through mid-off. They're pretty evenly matched there. That's 25 on the offside, and then 25 on the on. You don't get a much more even spread than that.
He plays well on both sides of the wicket. Plays straight, but it's Sidhu at the moment on strike against Fleming. Tries to pull that, playing across the line of the ball, showing a bit of impatience in the last 2 overs.
Well, this is dreadful. It was wide of off stump, and he left his feet where they were, reached for the ball, swung through it, hit right across it, and it could have gone anywhere, including onto his stumps. So Mr. Sidhu just needs to settle himself as Warne, as the captain rather, Taylor looks on.
He's fielding at mid-on. Festive atmosphere here in Sharjah. And that's a great shot. Going to be 4 runs. And Sidhu has decided, it looks, that he's going to go for the bowling and put the pressure on the Australians. 81 for 1.
What a difference, though. Look at the full blade go right through the line of the offside where he's trying to hit the ball. Instead of the bottom hand coming in and hitting across it to the onside.
The world's best players of spin to come next in Azharuddin, and then the bashers Cambley and Badadi.
Judging by that, there's no reason why they should continue and get the runs. But the thing that Australia was batting, they didn't have any target, and they got the runs. Whereas Indians, they know that they have a target. And
News is beginning to improve now after a very watchful start. And that's carefully run down. No fluke about that. And it's eluded Fleming.
Well, Fleming bowling a slower one there, and it was very cleverly placed by Jadeja, who saw the gap there in a diving method unable to stop the ball crossing the boundary line. Nicely placed there by Jadeja.
McGrath flinging himself to his left, all 6'6" of him, but Fleming can hardly watch it. And that's a chase far to his right, and again he's got that one. Just held on to it, but through for another couple.
That is a great save. That was magnificent fielding. Excellent cricket. Beautiful shot played by Jadeja there. And this one certainly racing to the boundary. And McGrath diving and saving what...
Supporters who come in from far and wide. So many different cultures here. That's another beauty of the city. Now another change of bowling. Single there for City. And he was getting a little frustrated by the end. Hoping for better things from here. Straight, and it's through.
What a beautiful shot that was. Straight bat, straight follow through. There it is. Perfect. And I think Steve Waugh thought that probably the fielder on the mid-on will long off would stop it, but certainly that beat that fielder too.
Single down to Fleming. Steve
picking up the boundaries as and when off it, but at the same time they're making sure that what the captain has ordered for keep the scoreboard moving by taking the singles. That's what they're doing.
That was a little iffy, but he gets away with it. More work for Fleming, but they're finding the gaps and the runs are coming.
They're paying a lot of respect to Shane Warne, but they're certainly picking up runs from the other end.
Push but safe, and 4 more, and Steve Waugh is having a nightmare. And are India moving towards a place in the final here? They're certainly now becoming the favourites.
Yes, they certainly are. The way they are batting, these two are giving India what they have been lacking, consistency. And these two batsmen not only picking up the runs, but also making sure.
Television, his first ball in a test match at Old Trafford, bowled to Gatting. That's Warne's bowling analysis. I'm going to go on with the story. He pitched it a foot wide of the leg stump. It turned across Gatting and hit the outside of his off stump, and Gatting departed as if he had seen a ghost.
Oh, yes.
Well, there you saw the second and third test matches of England's current tour in the West Indies, and you were standing when Ambrose blasted England out for 46 that extraordinary last day in Trinidad.
Yes, that's right. I was standing as the umpire at the other end. Steve Buckner was standing.
And did you, Steve Warne fielding? Sorry, Shane Warne.
Ball a magnificent spell.
Oh, and that's a terrific blow. Straight back over the top by Sidhu. 6 runs. Well, by Jadeja. In fact, I gave that to Sidhu, because that is Sidhu's characteristic, that stroke. But Jadeja it was. Just watch him hit it. Timing again. That was a superlative blow.
It was pure timing. I mean, it goes to show that such a man like
Jadeja and Sidhu have now put on 110 runs, and here's Warne in his 6th over to Jadeja. Just the single there. It's Matthew Hayden, deep on the cover boundary. If anything short and wide, he couldn't wait to get at that, could he? Steve Waugh at mid-wicket. So there we have the worm. The red worm is the Australian worm, and the yellow worm is the Indian worm, which is fighting at the moment a little bit of an uphill battle, but it's not lagging behind by all that much. The trouble with playing that stroke, Venkat, is that
The ball is marked.
Oh, that's a lovely stroke. It was the half volley, hit back over Warren's head, and that is 4 of the very best. Did you see in that basket? I find salty crisps make me so thirsty. It's another good stroke there from Sidhu. You know, Venkat, this is good cricket because Sidhu is now...
Beauty.
Oh, it was a lovely shot. Well, he's got away with it. It was meant to go straight. It's gone out to deep mid-wicket. Hayden is there, and 2 runs to Sidhu. A little bit too reckless, perhaps, for his own good. Ward's bowling analysis has 1 or 2 peaks that he won't like and not enough troughs. And here's Steve Waugh again to Sidhu. Away it goes again, but it's in the air to start with, pitched comfortably short of Hayden.
Quite a lot of goals, Henry.
Off, what's your handicap?
11.
I know you. I think you pay off up to about 6, don't you?
No.
11 that is really 6, and you take money off everyone.
No, it's not.
Love these crowds. They're so colourful and splendid. There's Chisti Mujahid, the famous Pakistani commentator on the left. That's 4 runs. That was a beautiful leg glance there. Jadeja just waiting for it, turning his wrists on it and getting it away fine for 4. And runs now coming at a great rate. He played it so late, didn't he? Just watch it. He had complete control over it.
He was...
It's going to be Glenn Turner to take Venkatragavan's position, and after, let's just watch the first ball of Vaughan's next over.
No ball.
Cautious defensive stroke by Jadeja.
Doing this, particularly with Vaughan, up to 5.7 runs required. It's not bad.
Flighted delivery, and it's hammered away for 4 runs. Fast, long on. There's no fielder there because the fielder, which is McGrath, is at deep mid-wicket. So 1-4, 1 for 1.
And this is just, look how he gets outside, his legs outside the line of the ball so that he can hit it straighter down the ground and not hit it to mid-on. That's beautiful positioning of the feet.
Straight to cup.
What I've enjoyed, though, is that in the early stages, but just in more recent deliveries that have been bowled, if they're in the slot, they've hit them straight back over the top for 4.
And the big hit, it's up in the air. Boone is getting under it, and he's caught him. And Jadeja, you can see the expression, has gone, and a cross-back shot there from Jadeja after playing such a fine innings. He lofted that to deep mid-wicket, and Vaughan has won the day.
Oh, what a waste this is. Pitch is outside off stump, it's foolish. And after me just saying that he'd been prepared to hit them straight down the ground, he slogs across the line, hits it down Boone's throat at deep mid-wicket. A good hand from Jadeja, but he gives it away. 141 for 2 India.
And Jadeja on 87 getting a standing ovation from this crowd. Absolutely delighted, magnificent innings, and whatever the form of his dismissal, as far as India are concerned, the way he's played, I'm sure a star. See the shot there, played across the line, and Boone judging it very well, had all the time in the world, and took it.
Walked away quite indignant as to what had happened to him.
It's over, and Sidhu will face him. Should be 2 runs. Rifle running around a deep square. 168 for 2. Change in the commentary team. It's going to be Asif.
And that too, a leg spinner against some of the best players against the spin bowling. Remarkable.
His personal run rate getting better and better. He's got that through, and that's 4 more. And the runs are just leaking that far end.
Yes, and I think that's exactly what the Indian supporters are brilliant about. Sidhu picking that up, beating the diving fielder at cover point, 4 runs. Beautiful shot.
Well, whether it's Mark Waugh or Steve, nothing can be done at the moment to stem the tide of runs. And Sidhu taking over now where Jadeja left off.
Yes, and I think that's exactly what's happening. They have done it exceptionally well. That first...
Oh, that's like giving it a little wave there. It wasn't hard.
And at this stage of the game, I think it's very, very important from the Indian point of view that Azhar stays there.
And that's true. And that too looks as if it's going to be 4.
Especially when somebody is capable of playing these sort of shots, there's no need for him to take unnecessary risks.
177 for 2. He's on 22. Single down to McGrath. It's interesting to me.
Put panic into the Indian batsman.
I think that will be just about the first time has been relied on to bowl out the cruel.
There is a likelihood that Shane Warne may put panic by putting pressure, but on the other hand, I think that may be too late, because if Indians still have batsmen remaining, they'll go after him.
Australia by 7 wickets in the first semi-final of the tournament. Electing to bat first, Australia scored 244 for 9 at the end of 50 overs. Australia had a shaky start. First to go was Mark Taylor, bowled by Srinath for 11. Boone went for 21, while Mark Waugh was the unlucky victim of a run-out.
Goes down to deep cover, and that could be a run-out.
With 3 wickets down, Steve Waugh and Langer built up the innings before Waugh was caught behind of Srinath for 53. Langer, trying to take a single, was run out by Tendulkar for 36.
They go through for 1.
Hayden was caught by Jadeja of Kumli for 48. Srinath and Kumli both captured 3 wickets each. India, chasing a target of 245 to reach the final, had an early loss. Tendulkar was brilliantly caught by Taylor of McGrath for 6. It was easy going for India after that. Sidhu and Jadeja played sensible cricket.
Oh, that's a terrific blow. Straight back.
And the big hit, it's up in the air. Boone is getting under it.
Before Jadeja lofted a catch to Boone off Warne. His innings of 87 included 12 fours and a 6. India lost its 3rd wicket when Sidhu was stumped by Langer. He scored 80. India scored the required total in 45.5 overs with 7 wickets in hand. Azharuddin on 36 and Kumli on 28 remained not out.
It's all over.
Jadeja was named man of the match.
People delighted.
Tomorrow, Pakistan play New Zealand in the second semi-final of the Australasian